Hey, welcome to a bonus episode dealio thingy of the Battle Science Podcast, a Pokemon Go PvP podcast where we talk about Pokemon Go PvP and how the game and all that stuff relates to all of the stuff I just said. This is a little bonus thing recorded the evening of the last day of Pokemon Go Fest on that Sunday. This is a pre-recorded little intro thing because I wasn't quite sure if it was going to go up on podcast services, and then very quickly I decided it was going to go up on podcast services, in which case I need to thank our Battle Science Patreon producers. You can go over to patreon.com/battlescience and support us at the $5 tier or more to become a podcast producer. Shout out to our producers for the month of July: Dolphin93, Jamar, and Winston the Champ. Thank you for backing us, or you can back us at a $1 tier or more and get access to the Battle Science After Dark podcast, a Patreon exclusive podcast where we talk about whatever strikes our fancy with whatever tone or language we feel is appropriate. So a little bit of spicy adult content there. Not necessarily explicit, but you can go over to patreon.com/battlescience and support us there. Just like our Patreon producers did, or the handful of other Patreon backers. So thank you for checking this out. Go ahead and give this a listen. It's a fun little ranty thingy I did. So we'll catch you next week for a Battle Science, regular scheduled Battle Science podcast.
Pikachu!
Go Fest 2021. I'm going to intro this because it's, I don't know, who knows who's going to be listening to this now or later. My name is Steven, a.k.a. aBoyInTheWoods, one half of Battle Science. It is 7:42 on Sunday, July 18th, 2021, the evening of the 2021 Go Fest Sunday. So Go Fest is over. And I just wanted to sort of ramble on about my thoughts of Go Fest and how it went, and chat to other people and see how it went for them, and celebrate the victories and lament the losses of what was put simply, a fantastic weekend. So let's see, where do I start, because it was 2 days. Oh goodness gracious. Spalak, if you're on the keyboard, where should I start? Should I start day one? Should I start with wins and losses? I don't know. I'm going to say a lot. I'm just going to have to deal with that. We're all going to have to deal with that a little bit. If I get... If I get a headstone, it's probably just going to say, like, Stephen Nelson. So, that's just going to be how it is. Let's see. Let's go with day one. I'm gonna pop over to the Pokemon Go blog. My phone is running a little low on battery. I'll plug it in when we get to showcasing particular Pokemon. Let's see. It's gonna be updates. Pokemon Go Live. The blog. Post. Let's see. I think this is it. Yeah, Pokemon Go Fest 2021 details. All right, day one, Saturday. Spawns, a whole lot of spawns. Spawns research, the event research, music themed, Meloetta, costumed Pokemon. Did I mention spawns? Off the bat, and something I mentioned very early on, was I was a little sad that there wasn't an ice type block within the biomes, basically, the hourly biomes. I'm a little sad just because snowy weather doesn't come around often, and like winter events with ice types again don't come around very often. So getting those ice types, generally speaking, you're you're looking for glacial lures for some ice types. There's a very small percentage of glacial lures or glacial lure spawns that are ice types. You're primarily seeing snow runt, snover, and I think Feel is a base water. There's one or two other like little ice types. Cryogonal, I think. And then Snover, grass ice, you'll see weather boosted in sunny weather. You'll see Snover, which gives you the ice type spawn. But you don't see a whole lot of ice types. Glacier lure, 3 hours. That's the one thing. There was 3 hours of lures. That was solid. People would throw them down. You'd have them. The Saturday, myself, Jesse, and our buddy Chris went down to Seattle Center to hang out, and we saw a couple other people, hung out briefly with a couple other people, but primarily walked around Seattle Center. Fantastic spawns. I mean, I don't know how much of that is general event or how much of that was Niantic having a little bit of a presence. Like, it wasn't crazy. They had like an info booth. They had a couple of photo ops, and then they had, I think, from what I saw, maybe 6 people, like in pairs, going around and handing out like postcards and Pikachu hat things, like a cardboard cutout that you could fold into hats, or I guess more technically visors, which was cool. It was cool to see the sort of there be a presence there. You wouldn't, generally speaking, you wouldn't see like a player organization do something like that, or at least I don't think you would see a player organization do something like that. So for Niantic to be there and to sort of be present in the community is, I think, in a game that's so remote and you can play wherever, I think is that it's not important, but I think was cool and a little bit more, I don't know, helpful, I guess. There were basically, not exclusive, but like during the hours of GoFest, there were bonus stops that were placed. Specifically, the ones that I noticed specifically were the info booth and the photo op locations. I think around Seattle Center, there were a couple of other extra stops, which helped a bit with spawns. And then, the couple of extra pieces of field research to get. But for the most part, it was all its own. Seattle Center, tons of people. Like, you had your general traffic of like people walking around, exercising, enjoying the weather, walking their dogs, and of course, it being Seattle, your population of the homeless, and the I don't know, the rest of the population of Seattle. But you had a lot of Pokemon Go players, like a probably a number of Pokemon Go players that I haven't been out and about to see since community days of old, which is a really weird phrase to say. I guess it's been 18, 19 months now of COVID, but it was crazy to see. A lot of masks, quite a bit of social distancing. I wasn't, still in the back of my mind, we still have the Delta variant and we still have COVID out and about a lot, but a lot of Seattle specifically, a lot of King County and a lot of Western Washington is vaccinated. So I'm still headspace wise in a little bit more edged, a little more nervous area than I think most people are, but definitely set a little bit more at ease, as well as myself, wearing a mask 98% of the time. The couple of times we're sitting down and eating off to the side, but went to hydrate, got a piece of ice. let's see. Saturday. Biomes. The biomes were cool. We've seen it before. We saw it with GoFest 2020. We saw it, I believe, with Kanto as well, where there were biomes that would cycle through. Okay, technically habitats, I guess is what they called them. I'll highlight them here. Jungle, desert, mountain, ocean, beach, and cave. Now, if you're a PvPer, desert mountain was like the golden era. You had an hour of desert mountain, or was it cave? It was one of the two. Jungle was arguably one of the least impressive, although you had a lot of spawns of Sawaddle, like in impressive amounts of spawns of Sawaddle. Speaking of Sawaddle, I got to that. I got myself a nice Levani that's already evolved its waiting power up. I'm excited to have this thing. It was either Desert Mountain or Cave where you had one of the two forms of Stunfisk. You had Dino and Gibble. No, it was Desert Mountain. Dino, Gibble, Shield on, Aeron. I wanted the shiny Aeron. It never came. Shiny Aeron never came, and that was one of my biggest disappointments. I'll get my shiny I'll get my shiny Aeron at some point. I just have to have patience and perseverance. Let's see, the two dragons. So Dino, Gibble, one of the two forms of Stunfisk, which was regular Stunfisk, ground electric, and then I think Skorupi, although that might have been during Cave. I don't remember exactly. Actually, let me check my spawns here. I can check my spawns to get a general sense of which hours we were in from yesterday. Yeah, I'm at a quarter battery. This is a little rough. Let's see. Yesterday. I think a good third of my box is currently... No, not a third. That's over dramatizing how much I have from GoFest. I caught a lot in GoFest, like a lot from GoFest. That's not quite true. The amount. Was it Smurgle? What would have been the first catch from GoFest? Let's see. Nope. Not quite. Where's my... Oh, God. Where did all of these come from? Is my internet not working? Because I just got a dozen chat notifications. Dino were actually, for me, I was actually quite impressed with the Dino spawn rate. It was significantly better than, or it was, I don't know, maybe it met my expectations. I'll get to Sunday. We'll get to Sunday. Let's see. Did somebody raid? Am I missing something? Did I just get raided and I didn't get the notification? Okay, where in the Sam heck am I? Where am I? Larvitar were all over the place. Ferroseed were all over the place. They were wild. T-Tar, Skarmory, regular Stunfisk in the Desert Mountain biome. The Desert Mountain biome was juicy. Also Hippopotas if Hippopotas is something you're interested in as far as PvP. It's incredibly versatile, if not a little squishy, but the fact that it can run all three fangs, and then has like Bite Crunch, and now has Rock Weather Ball is a lot of people are sleeping on Hippowdon. Biomes are cool. I would say jungle was probably the least impressive for the most part. I mean, maybe that's just living in the Pacific Northwest in parts where we play daily is forest biome. We're basically in like the the pallet town of regions as far as the mix of spawns that we get here. Jungle was all right. The biggest thing I think in jungle was Sawaddle for me. I was looking out for Sawaddle and something else. Scyther were something I was looking out for. I did appreciate the Froakie spawns, although I imagine most people are like, it's going to get a community day, which it's going to get a community day, but I'm down to prep as well as I can beforehand. Let's see. I think Krogunk has been, like, this is coming from a PvP standpoint, not from like a general collector standpoint. Krogunk or Toxicroak has been absolutely anywhere it possibly can be relevant. It's been relevant. So the fact that Krogunk were spawning is incredibly important for anyone that doesn't have one yet. I would honestly say Desert Mountain was one of my favorites. DJ, you're in New Zealand? Yeah, goodness gracious. Speed raids? I'm going to need an explanation on that at some point. That sounds nuts. I'm a borderline casual player, so that sounds intense. I'll speak more on my Sunday opinion in a little bit here. The chance for Stardust in this event between Chimecho and Audino spawning in the wild at the rates they were is nuts. Their base Stardust is 1,000 per catch, and then you're running a star piece, and then depending on the hourly bonus for the habitats, holy cow, you could rake it in. Again, like, I didn't go crazy, Jesse didn't go crazy, Chris was along for the ride. We were all plum tuckered, to use a phrase I've probably never said in an actual conversation before. We were all done. Open lobbies for OC players, then exiting and starting new lobbies and joining in the last 5. Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, you can... The raids just need a ready up button. Raids just, like, even if it's a private lobby, you need a ready up button. Raids need a rework. 40,000. Yeah, 40,000 Stardust trades. What'd you get from the 40,000 Stardust trades, Spollock? Did you get anything good? I happened to get my first Trico. Tropius. I got my first Tropius. It's not good, but it's my first Tropius, and it costs some Stardust, and the rest of them won't. Any of the rest that I get from trades will not cost as much. So it's more attack weighted than it is defense weighted, and then has a bit in HP and stamina. So it's okay. Nice, got a shiny Audino. Ow. I don't know why my hand's hurting. Maybe all of the phone holding. Oh, gave out shinies. Solid. Again, don't forget to hydrate. If you were out and about and it was at all warm, like, you're replenish the liquids within your 80% liquid body. We are humans after all. Right? We're all humans? Unless one of you is an alien. Get really weird and existential. Biomes were cool. I would have loved to see margaritas would be if it's the traditional margarita, double the dehydration because it's alcohol, which dehydrates you, and has a salty rim, which also dehydrates you. So probably if you're gonna dehydrate, that's probably the way to go. Regirock, Kyo, Mewtwo, and Gira all trades. Shinies? Let's see. So yeah, I think probably my favorite as far as spawn wise, Desert Mountain. Cave was next. Ocean Beach was solid, and then Jungle I wasn't the biggest fan of. Let me go to what I was catching from the last hour of the Jungle. What was I saying yesterday towards the tail end? It was something to the effect of I would have loved... Slackoth was spawning in Jungle as well. If someone doesn't have a good Vigoroth, like, get yourself a good Vigoroth. Message like, oh, no worries. No worries. Cadillac margaritas or mojitos. Oof. Man. I don't think I've got any ice cold alcoholic beverages ready, so dang. Let's see. What was I saying? Something to the effect yesterday I feel like I was saying something about I was talking to Jesse and I was like, I wish we could cycle through these either one more time or they were like 2-hour blocks or something. Come on over. Doors if the door is locked, I will let you in. Hope you are not allergic to a chocolate lab. Although Parker, I'm sure, will love the attention. I feel like the blocks maybe could have been a little bit longer. The rotations... I appreciate the rotations. The fact that it runs through twice. Oh, what was the thing? No, it was... I'd love to see the blocks both days. I was making mention about this today as well. I would have loved to see the blocks on both days, even if it was a little less crazy as far as spawns today. Although the pinnacle would be blocks on both days, raids on both days, and maybe even sync up the raid quote-unquote biomes with the spawn. Good. You're good to go. You're good to go, Sir Maximus. I can't imagine someone having like a golden retriever or a yellow lab and then dyeing the fur pink. That would be an atrocity. Although I'm sure they've jumped into some sort of like fruit bin and have incidentally dyed their hair crazy like pink. So it wouldn't be a conversation for me without tangents, would it? I would have loved to see them rotate maybe through once more somehow, or specifically there was a push notification sent through from the game saying, hey, don't forget this biome is starting, or like don't forget to go through your rotating biomes. And Sir Maximus was saying he's only allergic to strawberry labs. There's yellow labs, chocolate labs, and black labs, and there's probably another Labrador. Excuse me, a standard Labrador dog. But there isn't such thing as a strawberry, because if there's a chocolate, then there might be a strawberry. So, explaining my tangents. I got a push notification basically on the last hour of, hey, don't forget the biomes are rotating. And it's like, maybe say that in the midway, the exact halfway point for each region, and just say, hey, the biomes are rotating. Your last chance to get this next set of the set of biomes before they go away. Just a tiny little complaint, a little quality of life thing, just saying, like, if anyone forgot or didn't buy a ticket and didn't realize or something, I would have loved to have seen that push notification early. of course, I'm there. We're down in Seattle. We park and we have like 2 minutes before the event ends. So we slap on items and start walking into the Seattle Center, into the park area, and we're good to go. But would have loved to see maybe a little bit more push into that. I would have loved to have seen the spawns more. I guess realistically, like the amount of candy and the amount of spawns that we encountered was probably adequate anyway. Anyone that was fast catching or using the like gotchas was probably sweeping up 2, 3, 4, 5 times as many Pokemon, with a lot more, total resources both before and after. So as a more casual player, maybe I would have liked to have seen some more spawns. Maybe I'm just getting picky. I don't know. Let's see what else was going on Saturday. I know. I'm sorry, Jesse. For whatever reason, I was like, cool. Dog's fed. And you know what? Let's just talk about what happened, because for whatever reason, I want to basically do a shakedown. We won't have a Battle Science podcast until, a week and a half. And I don't really know if how much we're really going to talk about it on the BSAD. To be honest, I kind of want the BSAD to be whatever off-topic stuff and not really talk about Pokemon. But, figure I'd be here. Only kept my gotchas on stop catches. Didn't get the good Pokemon caught. Yeah. Oh, hydrate. Yep. I got this quarter bottle of a Gatorade, watered down. Oh, that's good. Glacier Cherry, not sponsored, but go for it. Yeah, I had my Pokeball Plus go for stop spins instead of catches, because I've found, I don't know what the general consensus is on the Pokeball Plus, but it has, in my experience, a very long lag time between where you have to be on the map for it to spin stops, as well as between spinning stops and actually recognizing there's a Pokemon there that it wants to catch. It has a very long wait time, and I imagine there's some process in the background it's going through to make sure it's not catching something it shouldn't. It has to prompt all of this stuff, and it's rather annoying. It's very good at spinning stops in the background. So much so that I had max items a lot of the time, and I had to toss Pokeballs. Another thing about the research, it gave a lot of Pokeballs and not a whole lot of berries. And I was basically dry on Pineapples and mostly dry. I had some more raspberries than I had Pineapples. I would have loved more Pineapple berries. I appreciate that in a couple of the hours the bonus challenges were extra catch candy. I want to say there was a point where the extra catch candy was on the desert mountain biome, and I was catching Shieldon with a Pineapple and getting 6 to 12 candy per catch. And that was fantastic. So yeah, I had 400 Pokeballs, and I looked at the rest of my item storage and looked at the spawns and realized I was not going to go through those. So I think yesterday I probably tossed about 100, 150. Today I probably tossed another 100 or so, and I'm still at around, I think, 250 Pokeballs. So I went through a lot of Pokeballs, but still have quite a lot. Nothing against the amount of Pokeballs it gives. The research was also incredibly helpful, but it's one of those things of a hindsight's 2020, and for the future, I'm going to stock up dramatically more on berries than I am on vanilla Pokeballs, and also going to maybe a little prioritize a little bit more Ultra Balls, although I really didn't use as many as I might have expected. So, yeah, I think I'm going to focus on prepping my overall bag space to still have some space to spin stops and get research. It's a really annoying thing if you have to have empty bag space to be able to even spin a stop to get the research. So that's, I don't know, maybe a tiny quality of life thing that Niantic can adjust at some point, where you can still get research from a stop even if your bag is full, but who knows if that's ever going to change. Day one research, the special research, Meloetta. The theme of putting on a music festival was very, very cool. I think it helps focus on your sound, noise, music themed Pokemon, which there's actually, like, I would almost surprisingly say quite a number of. It makes you wonder what maybe next year's is going to be. You have the option to do a lot of different themes with the different Pokemon and their types and roles within the Pokemon world. There's a lot of options, so there's a lot of play. So I'd be curious to see what next year's Go Fest is, if they play around with a particular theme like Meloetta. I'd have to look back to see what the next mythics might be. We could be looking at... We don't have Manaphy or Fion, which is in a really weird space where Fion is a baby form of Manaphy, but it doesn't evolve into Manaphy. You have to get it as an egg from Manaphy. So we might see next year's Go Fest as some sort of weird... Maybe we see next year's Go Fest as some sort of weird breeding Pokemon Center focused thing. I don't know. Maybe we see a lot of like eggs, a lot of parents things. I don't know, daycare-esque theme. I don't know. Although I think Fion and Manaphy are... If they're focused on, if somebody correct me if Manaphy or Fion are in Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, because if they are, whatever Diamond, Pearl, Platinum event we might get in November in sort of the place of the Kanto tour, then maybe we get it then instead. I don't know what their next mythic that they're gonna pull out for next year's Go Fest. It could be Hoopa. I don't know when we're gonna get Hoopa. Actually, we might get Hoopa for EX raids. That's a good... We were thinking it was gonna be... What's it called? Arceus. But it might be Hoopa instead, which would make some sense that it would be popping around in EX raids and not be like all over the place, since it's popping in and out of space-time with its portals. It is thinking with portals, yes. That's a joke. I do have one complaint with the... What's it called? I have a complaint with the event costumes. And it's not that they can't evolve, because that's not surprising. It's disappointing, but that's not surprising. There is... Where is it here? Yes, here it is. So this I don't know. I didn't pay enough attention to it. I imagine enough other people didn't pay enough attention to it. Make sure to take a snapshot during event hours on Saturday. You have to complete the special research. By doing so, you'll encounter either Pikachu Popstar or Pikachu Rockstar, depending on your earlier choice. I didn't complete my special research until today, because generally speaking, you don't have to bust through it and complete it in one day. I didn't complete it until today. I lost out on the opportunity to get another Pikachu Rockstar. So you would have the you have the option of one or the other of the Pikachu Popstar or Pikachu Rockstar within the special research. But to get the two more, you have to complete the special research. You had to have completed the special research on Saturday and done the photo bombs on Saturday during event hours, or at least before Sunday's part of the event started at 10. So make sure to just take a snapshot during event hours on Sunday after completing your special research. So the special research, I believe, from Saturday, to encounter either Gardevoir or Flygon wearing a Meloetta inspired hat, depending on your earlier choice. So I have one Pikachu Rockstar. I was not able to get other ones. Like, the biggest thing is that the special moves, Draining Kiss and Meteor Mash, as we've said on the podcast, doesn't really change its overall performance. It has a chance to be semi-relevant in like a Little Cup at some point. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point, though, it would get banned if it is. Let's see, Pikachu. Let me see what the CP is. 371 for my one Rockstar. 10, 10, 11. So its IVs are quite bad. I guess the one benefit of the one thing with the snapshot is that they re-roll to any IV, because snapshot Pokemon can have any IV combo all the way down to full zeros. So, my Rockstar Pikachu has Charm and Meteor Mash. What a combo. Interesting. Which the fast move Charm is not an available fast move on regular Pikachu. So somebody else double check their movesets and tell me if Charm is exclusive on their event Pikachu as well. Both forms. The hat Pikachu not evolving. I'm a little disappointed. It's just the hat. Raichu wearing the hat should be possible. The fact that they are still doing these event Pikachus that can't evolve in newer forms is a bit ridiculous. It's not surprising, but whatever. Let's see. Yeah, that was I didn't learn this basically until it was noon or so today, noon on Sunday. So I was quite disappointed. I had to go through like Reddit threads because somebody else came up to our group and asked, and I was like, you know what? I don't know. Let me check. And Reddit threads seem to have, the consensus that it wasn't available on Sunday. So I don't expect Niantic to go back and somehow grant people 2 free ones for not missing this. This was clearly stated. The fact that I missed it, I'm not the only one that missed it, but the fact that I missed it and it was right here is, I don't know. Maybe a push notification there would have been nice. I don't know. Maybe there was one and I missed it. Again, I don't know. Let's see. I guess with the costumes as well. The Galarian Ponyta and Galarian Zigzagoon wearing the Meloetta inspired hats, not being able to evolve is also disappointing, but not surprising. Like I don't know. Their shinies were available, so that was cool. One of our friends, their research Galarian Ponyta with the hat was a shiny. And I think their first Galarian Ponyta shiny. So that was a pretty cool instance to have. So yeah. Let's see. Main event announcement. Let's see what else they're saying. Pokemon related to music. Whismur, Chimecho, Audino, and Temple made their Pokemon Go shiny debut, which was cool. I ended up getting shiny Chimecho, one shiny Chimecho, and I think 2 or 3 shiny Audino. Which was cool. The shiny Temple is awesome, but it's a shiny Whismur and Temple are two fairly Whismur is not relevant in anything, but is a 3-tier that is a reasonable candidate for community days, more for fillers, although Seismitoad, depending on its moveset, could be a fantastic PvP or raid raider opportunity, so we'll have to wait and see there. But Whismur as a normal type is mediocre. Exploud's a cool looking Pokemon. Its shiny's out, but it's still a 3-tier. It could get a new move. It could get what was its move? Not Boom Burst, something like that. It has the opportunity to get a community day move to really push it to the forefront as far as, I don't know, normal types. As a filler community day, it has the option to be that. So, let's see. Global challenges were cool. Habitats. Let's see. Looking to see if there's anything I missed. Yep, they specifically say shiny rates were boosted on Saturday at a level that they were not boosted to on Sunday, which I definitely encountered. Day 2 raid. Let's see. Overall feelings of day 1. Sort of to wrap up day 1, I thought it was solid. Got some great catches. Let me actually plug in and showcase some of my catches here. Before my battery's probably gonna crap out here. By the end of the day, my battery bank ran out of juice and my phone is low. Nope. And let's see. Maybe. There we go. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. I'm home. Good thing they don't put... Oh, that's too far. Good thing they don't put addresses on the streets. Not that I think we have anyone that watches any of our content that would dox us. If anything, if you sent one of those rubber piles of poop in a box and scared us, that would give me the giggles, at least a little bit. Let's see. We started... Did we start in the mountain biome? That makes sense, because we had shield on a lot. Skarmory was another one that if someone doesn't have a PvP Skarmory, they were all over the place. Go get them. Drapion. Like, a lot of this were fantastic. Fantastic. Both raid and PvP eligible Pokemon that like someone was there was a number of Reddit threads looking for the costume information. A handful of Reddit threads I was seeing both last night and earlier today that were saying that there was nothing new. There was nothing new for community or nothing new for GoFest, and that they were disappointed. And while I would agree that there's not a whole lot new during this GoFest, there was a lot of opportunities to get things that you either don't have good ones for, or stock up on XP, on Stardust, on candy, on shinies. Just go ham or relax. You could take it like a GoFest that take it like a GoFest like Swablu, where you probably already have fantastic IV'd ones. You probably already have all of the shinies in the world. Sup AJ Styles. You probably have everything you could ever possibly want for Swablu, but it's still a community day and it still has bonus Stardust. Why not go casual? If that's your prerogative. There's no reason that if GoFest doesn't have any one thing in particular for you to not at least participate. You don't even have to buy the $15 pass. You can still go enjoy some of the spawns, enjoy the multitude of lures that have been dropping. They're 3 hours long. Drop your own. You can still enjoy it. Or pass on it. Take the weekend off, who knows? While I didn't find that there was anything exceptionally new within GoFest, I think the opportunities for me, XP and Stardust, and then candy for a multitude of Pokemon that are incredibly rare to me, was very, very helpful and very valuable. So Larvitar was one. Larvitar was a community day I missed. It was early enough on. I started playing the game day one, but there were, Pikachu I missed, and Larvitar I missed. I'm trying to think of what else I missed from community days very early on. I feel like that was it. There might have been one or two others that I didn't really fully participate in. But those were the two primary that I wanted to catch a bunch of Larvitar. I hadn't gotten the shiny, so I did end up getting, I don't think it's here. Actually, funny anecdote, my first shiny of GoFest was an egg from before GoFest, and it was the shiny Waynout. So I have a 15-10-10 shiny Waynout from an egg from before GoFest. So got it in North Bend on the 13th, and I hatched it on the 17th in Seattle, and during Pokemon Go Fest Day 1 catch. So it was also purple, which started off a string of pink-purple themed shiny Pokemon that I would get for most of Saturday. So my second one was a Feebas, not the first shiny Feebas I've gotten. Let's see. All of the Frillish, I tried to catch as many Frillish as possible. Sock was another one that I wanted to go ham for. I ended up getting a rank 2 Azumarill that is going to take me some resources to get up to. I don't have the XL candy, obviously. But I do have the regular Marill candy to at least get it up to level 40. The dust cost is something I'm going to have to bite the bullet on. But it's the rank 2. It's going to put in some mileage. I can guarantee that. Let's see. All of the Dino. I caught as many Dino as possible. I wanted the shiny Roggenrola. Couldn't get it. The other benefit was primarily Roggenrola were not weather boosted, and I was looking for. It's not super relevant in Great League, but I was looking for a reasonable Great League. Oh goodness, what do they call it? What's its third form? I can't think of what its third form is. There's Roggenrola. There's... I'm gonna hate myself. Roggenrola evolution. Please tell me. Boldor and Gigalith. I was looking for a Great League Gigalith because I like Gigalith, and as a rock type, it can probably perform some pretty solid stuff. Found, I think probably my best one is like around 102 rank for a Gigalith. So didn't end up getting the shiny, which makes me a little sad though. So, but there will be opportunities. It's another one that's probably going to get a community day. Stunfisk was another one. We ended up seeing, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 regular Stunfisk during the first desert mountain biome. And then when it cycled back the second time, I think we saw 1. And that's one that I was really disappointed in. I wanted to see more. They've been in a couple of events, but they are not very common. I guess the biggest thing is the Galarian Stunfisk. Galarian Stunfisk were weather boosted almost the entire time. And Galarian Stunfisk are primarily research egg and... No, research and egg. So their IV minimums are 10s. So having them be wild spawn, even with weather boosted, still gives you a better opportunity to find a better PvP IV with the low attack and the high defense and stamina. So I took that opportunity to try and catch as many Stunfisk as well. Of course, Sableye. The shiny Sableye, I think, was the first non-purple. Let's see. Is my... No, that's right. Well, so that was, I think, the first variation. The continuing of purple shinies. Adino. Sableye was weird, but not the first shiny Sableye I've gotten. I kind of forgot I caught Beldum. But then, of course, there was another Audino, and then Absol, which is pink, or magenta, or however. I don't know. Is this salmon? Is this more salmon than it is pink? I don't know. To each their own, I guess. However you want to see it. This is probably one of my grails from the first day of GoFest. This is like a rank 50 Levani for Great League. Levani is a bug grass that has a bonkers moveset. And like pretty reasonable base stats. So this thing's probably going to get some really weird usage in some really weird Sylph metas, and I can't wait to use it. Like, I absolutely cannot wait. Like, out of Jungle Cup, like Levani, Sawaddle, like I was catching Sawaddle like crazy. That was like an awesome catch. I think that was specifically primarily incense spawns, so none of us really got to share the IVs that we caught for Swaddle. Jesse and I are going to do mirror trades and then transfer them. Don't forget Tuesday. No one's corrected me, so I believe it's still the case. Tuesday, the 20th. The spotlight hour is who gives a crap, but the bonus is double transfer candy. So if you have things like Shieldon where you need a level 50 or Swaddle that are really rare and you don't have a whole lot of candy for, keep them all for Tuesday for spotlight hour and transfer them. Jesse and I are going to do mirror trades so we can get an extra candy or 2 per trade, and then keep the rest and transfer them on Tuesday. You basically can try and maximize the amount of 1, reroll stats, get extra candy, and 2, if they're garbage, which they probably will be, it is still re-rolling with trades with best friends. And then transferring them for double transfer candy. I don't believe double transfer candy affects XL candy. I don't believe so. I believe those are completely different stats as far as the rates for XL candy. So you'd have to sort of... I expect to not get extra XL candy there. Let's see. The shiny Larvitar. The first shiny Larvitar. I was very excited to get this. It's lime green. It's beautiful. Lime green with raspberry. I love it. It probably won't get evolved. Maybe I'll get another one at some point. But we've yet to see an event where Larvitar or Tyranitar gets Smackdown again, I believe. Like this event was Flygon and Gardevoir. Actually, in Flygon and Gardevoir only. I don't think Gallade got its Synchronoise as part of this event. So maybe we see that here in Space Time and other Ultra unlocks or something. But fingers crossed. Actually, we might get Larvitar with... I think it's supposed to be Time where we get shiny Shieldon and shiny Cranidos. So maybe. I don't know. They really haven't talked too much about these upcoming events. But back to Go Fest. The shiny Scroopy was one that I was looking for as well. It's so red and beautiful, and its stats are so bad. And I would expect nothing less. So day one, solid. A lot of candy. As much candy as I could handle as far as catches and pineapple berries would allow. So, another Grail. Rank 6 Hydreigon, or Zweilous, I should say. Rank 6 Zweilous for Great League. This thing's going to get some usage too. I'm very excited. This one, I could evolve right now, but I don't know, for whatever reason, I'm going to wait. So, Jesse's very pleased he got his favorite. He got his shiny Snorlax, which is his favorite Pokemon, and I'm very excited for him. I was a little sad that there wasn't Vulpix spawns in like Desert Mountain or anything, but it was spawned during Kanto tour, 6-ish months ago, so I'm not like super surprised. I'll have my time. Aeron and Vulpix will have their times. I will have my moment. I will freak out. I will scare people that have no context to what's going on. I will have my moment. Today and yesterday were not my moments. So, okay, day 2. Day 2, as someone that's more of a casual player, and personally, I'll just get my thoughts on raids out of the way. Raids are rather boring. They're tap fests. You get enough people. If you get a small handful of people, they're easily doable. There's a whole lot of waiting. There's a whole lot of just generally tapping. There's not a whole lot of strategy. The game handholds a lot. I'm not impressed with raids. They need a rework. They need adjustments. They need quality of life upgrades. That being said, having all of the legendaries all at once makes it... not necessarily all at once, but having the legendaries spawn... I'm going to unplug my phone here because I'm at 14%. It's just going to die quicker. Having all of the legendaries in what they were doing, cool idea. Makes sense with the theme of Hoopa basically space-time abducting the legendary Pokemon into raid battles. A cool concept, leads to some interesting story stuff. I've said before I would love for Pokemon Go to have more sort of like narrative drives, and I think this is a really cool sort of showcase of that. Where like Hoopa's sort of mischievousness and powers put it into a cool opportunity for kind of like the light storytelling we get for community days with a more like sort of bigger thing. And I would be more interested to see if this continues, if kind of the raid day is a prologue for what happens with space time, and Jesse's gonna have to buy me a burger, aka altered dimension with Giratina for the Ultra unlocks. I kind of hope Hoopa is used as far as narrative for those next Ultra unlocks, because there's story there. There's history and story and abilities that a lot of people that play Pokemon Go haven't played the main series games. They might watch a little bit of the anime. They might not watch the anime at all. The card games have like no narrative in them like whatsoever, because unless there's like tiny bits of flavor text. Maybe they play a narrative similar to like Magic the Gathering, where there's something going on in the background, but the cards themselves, you really have to piece things together. Pokemon Go is this really interesting launching point for Pokemon fans that haven't gotten into other pieces of Pokemon media, that they can sort of tell their own story in relation to our world in this sort of virtual reality, augmented reality. So I think the Hoopa storyline is cool. I'd like to see that pushed. Having all of the legendary raids at once is cool if you're trying to farm candy for anything in particular. If you don't have something from before, this is where I more agree with. There was nothing really new here, and I wasn't super impressed. So with the thought that... Sorry, I'm peeling the label off of this Gatorade bottle. Idle hands are the devil's plaything. With the thought that the space-time and whatever third Ultra Unlock week is going to be, my thought was Dialga and Palkia are going to come back, and Giratina is probably going to come back too. So the thought there is that we don't have the shinies of we don't have the shinies of Dialga and Palkia in the game. We also don't have the shinies of a number of other legendaries. Basically anything more recent, we don't have the shinies released. We also don't have... Let's see. There's Kyogre and Groudon that have their primal forms. Rayquaza that has... Rayquaza. Green Serpent. That has its... What is it called? Delta. That has its Delta form, which is basically its own form of a Mega. Those will be released at some point, or have to be released at some point, since they're doing Megas. And then on top of that, there are signature moves for Kyogre, Groudon, Rayquaza, Dialga, Palkia, Giratina, all of these legendaries. So let me just go to the details here with Sunday gameplay reveal. Let's see if this has the list. Let's see. Latias, Latios. I think Ho-Oh and Lugia have their... Ho-Oh, I think, does have Sacred Fire. I don't think Lugia has... Whatever Lugia's... I can't think of what Lugia's signature move is. There's a number of legendary signature moves we don't have in the game yet. So they're going to come back again. They're great excuses to bring these legendaries back. This isn't the last time these legendaries are going to be around. So other than an exorbitant amount of XP and Stardust, I didn't have a ton of drive to run a whole lot of raids. And even with the XP and Stardust gains that were possible with the amount of raids, raids are boring and not really interactive, and so I didn't have the drive to do a whole lot of raids today. I did a handful, get some candy, get XP, get Stardust, get a bunch of items too. Like, holy cow. I went from having like 30 like hyper potions to 112 at the end of the day, so I'm stocked up on hyper potions for a while, I guess. The hours are an interesting way of organizing the raids. The format of raids basically refreshing about every 20 minutes. Not a bad option as well. There were a couple of times where we were able to sort of like take a deep breath, look around. Nice. 1 million XP. You need to do 20 raids, depending on the raid timer. I think, I mean, I can talk to the cows come home that like raids need some quality of life. I think a lot of people would agree raids need some quality of life updates, like, badly. There's also the weird like mystery energy that you like gain and then goes away, as well as like HP that you like lose and comes back. And like desync issues within raids where there's like shadow damage and like fainting glitches and stuff that like raids need. I don't know how possible it is to do a top to bottom raid rework where maybe most of the mechanics are the same, but you like remove the chance of most of these errors from happening. But if they had to remove raids from the game for like a month or two to fix this kind of thing and overall improve the quality of raids, do it, because man, are legendary raids something that just doesn't excite me. And I would be curious to see, of course there's always a population, a percentage of the game that's not going to be excited by, you know, a particular portion of the game, but I would love to see some improvements in the raid system for me to be at least more excited and more positive on the raid system. Because at this point it's tapping simulator. So, and it's only tapping simulator if you get enough people. All right. Ranty annoyance sort of out of the way. There's something about Sunday, something about today, that with the spawn still sort of in the background and these raids happening, that not being in a really dense, myself, Jesse, and Chris went out and we took Jesse's car and we drove around. Let's see, we started in Issaquah. And then drove around a bit and then headed back into the Snoqualmie Valley. And driving around to get the right raids. I mean, maybe if we were in a more raid dense area, we would walk around more. There'd be a little bit more breathing room. But where we were playing, there was a bit of driving around to hit the raids that we were looking for. And I think pulling that away from the standard incense and catching of, you know, things that we didn't get from yesterday, from Saturday, I think there was sort of this weird pull, either make it a more even split where, you know, all of the stuff from Saturday are happening at the same time as Sunday and it's happening for both days, or make it a more specific, hey, the catch stuff is specifically Saturday. Maybe it's midnight. They have a solid start and end time so that people aren't trespassing and stuff, and I can understand that, but maybe make it longer, make it a little bit more free-flowing. I don't know. The the catches on one day, remove the spawns from Sunday, make it raid day or something. Maybe it's 2 weekends in a row. I don't know. But there was something about today, about Sunday, that splitting my attention between the two and looking for the shinies and extra candy and looking for, the Dino and the Stunfisk, the Frillish, this occasional Swaddle today, and looking for that shiny Aeron. Between doing that and popping into raids and communicating with other people in Discord chats to make sure that we had people and that we were, remoting into other raids when we didn't have a raid with us or raid near us, and making sure they were in the game, as well as like moving around and driving to other raids and stuff. There's something, I think, just pulling the attention around too much that I made Sunday a little less impressive to me. Now, I don't know. I have no idea what my plans are for next year's Go Fest. I would love the opportunity to either be in downtown Seattle for both days, where the general spawns and raids are going to be more consistent both days, or even go into Chicago or another place outside of our normal area to get a better sense and a more, not that you didn't get a sense of the community in Seattle, but get a sense of other people's communities and see another part of Pokemon Go in another place, experience another place through the lens of Pokemon Go. I'd like to have that opportunity, next year, I think. So I think that might change my overall feel. Changing my approach of Sunday, I think, for next year, I think will change my overall opinion if the formats stay the same. But there's something about Sunday that I'm not against it, but I was not the A+ incredibly positive, super stoked. And maybe I'm also just tired. I've not gotten enough sleep, and with the last 2 days going on, walking around and being up early and not being up late, but not going to bed at a reasonable time, it's maybe not led to the best experience, the best brain space. So that being said, the amount of raid passes they were handing out was impressive. I think I took advantage of all of the regular raid passes, I believe, and then all of the remote raid passes from the timed research. But I do have I didn't get to the 3 remote raid passes, unless I actually had to go into work for the last 30 minutes of the event. Small chance that Jesse actually ended up using no, I actually don't want that. It's the wrong game. Small chance Jesse actually used my raid passes. Those 3 remote raid passes. Let's see. Yes, he used the 3 remote raid passes. Cool. They did 3 Dialga and a Rayquaza. Unless they did another raid and it doesn't show up. They didn't end up catching the game for me. I need to go into work. Somebody called in sick and we needed a second person to close, but it's probably too much information. Nobody cares. But yeah, they gave a lot of raid passes. And as somebody that was holding on to a couple of extras between, I think, the stacked free raid pass from yesterday and a couple of premium and a couple of remote raid passes from the last week or two of research breakthroughs, I had a lot of raid passes and didn't even use all of them. And I would say I did a solid amount of, for a casual player, a solid amount of raids, I would say. So that was cool. The one thing that they, when it comes to like freemium items, like they'll give you, they gave a handful of incense for the collection challenges on Saturday, and I think 1 or 2 additional incense via timed research and special research, which was cool. The hour-long incense definitely, I think you equaled out. If you had 1 or 2 to start with and you completed the collection challenges, you would get about enough incense to last you the event at least Saturday. To end up a net 0 of use to gain incense. Star pieces and lucky eggs were a little less generous within the research and such. I can kind of understand that. It's unfortunate those were only 30 minutes long. It would have been more appreciated if they were an hour long, just with the overall event length between the 2 days. But they also want an opportunity to make money. Speaking of making money, there was a single super incubator in all of the research with a half hatch distance, I believe. Was it half hatch distance, the event? Maybe only Saturday was half hatch distance. Let's see. Day 1. Where is my details here? Both days. Where is my info there? Trainers using Android devices on Saturday, July 17th. I don't know if I saw any more details on the eligible for an exclusive sponsored gift to help power their Pokemon Go Fest experience. I don't know if I saw any information on the Android device specific. I don't know. I'd have to do more research on that one. Let's see. Both days. Trainer photos will be featured in Today View. All lure modules active for 3 hours. Half hatch distance on eggs. Both days when placed in an incubator during event hours. So half hatch distance, a very small changing in 7k egg pool of Igglybuff, Chingling, and Audino and more from 7k eggs. No incubators. I didn't buy any incubators. I didn't feel the need to buy incubators. There was a couple pieces of research to hatch eggs, which was kind of annoying, but yeah, eggs are kind of a little bit of a pain point within Pokemon Go. Not that they're irrelevant, but they could use some more relevance. They could use some quality of life stuff. Buying incubators is, I don't know. Dumb. I'm not a fan of it. Yeah. Egg incubators. They gave you one super incubator. You would have to buy more if you wanted to consistently hatch stuff. I think I probably hatched maybe 10 eggs, probably less than that in the last 2 days. I guess realistically, Sunday's walk distance was considerably less. So our like hatch distance and such was probably considerably less as well. Less opportunities, but we're still out and about. So I don't know. I'm sure there's people that were hatching just massive amounts of eggs with massive amounts of incubators, and I've got no problem with that. It was just interesting to see that there was no other. There's one. You get one incubator, one super incubator. Not even a regular incubator. You just get one super incubator. I think like stage 2 of a special research on Saturday, and that's it. Frederick, are you asking what my thought is next for Pogo? Like, what are we... Like, what's happening next? I can only give my assumptions. I'm not a developer. We did complete the Ultra Unlocks, so time, space, and I swear if it's not Giratina, I'm going to be sad because I would owe Jesse a cheeseburger. Cheeseburger bet. Dang, 2 bounce backs from my buddy. I'll take that. In a row. Plus, let me go back to it because they reference it somewhere. The unlock, they didn't give a ton of info. That should be... Let's see. Here we are. Part 1 time starts on Friday, July 23rd. So this upcoming Friday. That's it. Pokemon from various eras. I think it was data mined that the shinies for Shieldon and Cranidos. I don't think it was announced, but it might have been data mined that the shinies for Shieldon and Cranidos, which is no, is it Cranidos? Is that the first or the second form? Shieldon, Bastiodon, Cranidos, and someone correct me. What is Cranidos' evolved form? Because I unfortunately have not evolved Cranidos. Don't at me. Cranidos. I also can't spell. Rampardos. Cranidos' shiny is actually pretty dope. It's red. Take a look at that. Get hype. So that will start on Friday. I think it's a week. Friday, July 23rd to August 3rd. So you're looking at a week and a half. A week and a half. Let me look at what Shieldon is. What's... Can I go previous? Where's my previous button? Actually, it's down here at the bottom. Rampardos and Shieldon. Shieldon's face turns blue. Bastiodon also blue. So impressively less exciting, but still shiny. So that's gonna happen. Yeah, they become blue and red. They become the opposites then. I'm hoping. Let's see. Time. Who knows what else we're getting in the time event? We could see maybe a forward in time where we get some like Alolan generation Pokemon. Although maybe it's a little premature for that. We might get like the Alolan starters, but who knows? Part 2 Space. That's going to be Friday, August 6th. So a few days after time wraps up. I don't know if we're getting new shiny raids. The thought, so it's either, if it follows the trends of other legendaries, we'll get shiny Dialga for time, shiny Palkia for space, and then later on down the line, we'll get their exclusive moves or signature moves. But nothing is confirmed at this point. Nothing is confirmed. Part 3, I think it's Giratina, where we'll go into the Shadow Realm, as Jesse would smack me for saying, because it's a Yu-Gi-Oh joke. Haha. Can't forget to hydrate. Going back to space. The sort of scuttlebutt of space is that some of the regionals will switch. Fingers crossed Tropius will come to North America, because I would love some. And I'm a little bit confused as to the consistency in which Tropius has performed well enough to be banned in Self Arena metas. So making it more widely available would should change that. I would hope, but probably not. Who knows? Yep, and then part 3, probably Giratina. It could be Hoopa. They could put us on our toes. Abnormal events continue to happen. What awaits us during part 3? I think it's probably Giratina, because space and time. If you're following the trend of the Diamond and Pearl games, Diamond, Pearl, and then Platinum. And Platinum is Giratina. And Platinum had its going into the Dark Dimension sort of weird things. Maybe Hoopa's just Arceus we might get in. So my thought is that we might get Arceus within EX raids here coming up. There's a chance we get Hoopa in EX raids instead with this sort of story. We'll see if the Ultra unlocks have, as I was mentioning before, Frederick, we'll see if the Go Fest, like day 2 Hoopa shenanigans that was putting legendaries in all of the raid spots. We'll see if the Hoopa shenanigans get continued in some sort of special research story that might explain what's going on with the time and space stuff. And then whatever happens in part 3. And then beyond that, Arceus, they might wait for Arceus for the Pokemon Sinnoh Legends Arceus game that comes out in January, February. That might be a little bit long to wait, but Arceus also comes out within that same... It comes out within Sinnoh. So having the Sinnoh remakes in November-ish, they could still get delayed. The Sinnoh remakes in November and the Legends Arceus game in early 2022 would be a pretty reasonable time to put out Dialga, Palkia, Giratina, and then Arceus, potentially Shaman, potentially whatever else. I think Hoopa and Meloetta are part of that same Sinnoh region, but I actually think they're a generation ahead, so I'm not 100% sure. But just purely speculation and looking at what we have now and looking ahead at what's to come. So, let's see. But I've already been going for hour and a half. I was thinking I was going to go for an hour. I'm going to wrap this up so that I can walk dog and potentially get reasonable sleep. I get to work tomorrow. GoFest 2021, I think, was a solid event of some common spawns, but a lot of uncommon spawns. A lot of opportunities for some really good sort of accumulation of candy, rare spawns, Stardust, XP, going out, distance, all of that stuff, walking distance, basically getting back to a quote-unquote normal while we're still going through, we're still in this pandemic. People are probably tired. It's like, Steven, shut up. You've talked about it enough. And I would agree. I've talked about it enough, but apparently not enough. Not that I'm going to make any difference as far as the vaccination rates and the COVID cases and stuff, but it's still happening. Day one was solid. The spawns were great. The rotations were solid. The candy opportunities were great. They didn't skimp out on Pokeballs at all. I don't think anyone... I'm sure there's going to be people that were like, yeah, I ran out of Pokeballs. And those people were probably catching like crazy. From a casual's perspective, tons of Pokeballs. No complaints there. I need to stock up on berries. Learning experience, I need to stock up on berries for big events like this because they're going to be a little bit more stingy on berry drops and a lot more lucrative in Pokeball drops. Day 2 wasn't as big of a fan because I think raids at this point, they've gotten tiny little reworks, but they've never gotten really big quality of life rework. They have not been modernized to current Pokemon Go standards, I think. Maybe stat modifications, stat buff debuff moves need to apply to raids. Maybe the mechanics need to change. The way raid lobbies work, the timers, raids need an adjustment, and I think I felt that here more than anywhere, that raids need adjusting. It's not the biggest issue in the game, but I think it's one of the biggest points of improvement that if raids got an update, there would be a significant change in not the way the game's played, but I think if raids were improved, then I think the overall health of the game would improve as well. I think there would be a lot more positive feelings about this game if raids were improved, because right now I think it's in a really weird spot of being just okay. Like mechanically wise and interactively wise. Both days, like taking out what I've caught, the shinies, all of that stuff, I would say both days were a pretty fantastic event. I didn't hear any issues with servers other than don't hop into a raid on raid day with 5 minutes or less. If you get kicked out, it rotates through it rotated through legendaries fast enough that if you get kicked out with less than 5 minutes, the chances of you getting back to that Pokemon as the reward encounter were pretty slim, and you would basically waste a pass. But that's sort of just the way that the mechanics work as far as the rewards and such, reward encounters and how that functions within the game, that are a little awkward, plus the fact of the constantly respawning legendaries. Yeah, I didn't hear. I mean, I'm gonna spend some time tonight diving through Twitter and Reddit and seeing what all people's interactions were, how server stability was, but I think overall it was pretty damn solid of a Go Fest. I didn't hear anything from APAC as far as absolutely having trashed servers that weren't working for, the first 2-3 hours of day one, which is great. And then hopefully Niantic, the community team, the dev team, all had a solid experience. I don't think personally, I mean, I'm somewhat easy to please here. I don't have any reason to send death threats or hate towards Niantic's way. I think this was a super solid event. The giant raid egg in Chicago was a really interesting touch. Like graphic, the live stream itself was pretty darn cool. I think they could have, there's like little improvements that I would love to see with like the interaction of it and the showcasing of it. I think the live stream like transitions between raids and the like lead up to it, I think was maybe a little too long. We were expecting some crazy announcement and for like Hoopa to appear or something. And I think it took a while for it to recognize, or for us to really, the first raid was Mewtwo and we're like, okay, Mewtwo's in raids everywhere. We won't know that this is weird until the second raid spawns. And if it spawns something else, then it's the kickoff to Sunday's raid event. And then when it was like, okay, that's cool. But it's like one giant egg in Chicago, and like it's a cool, it's a cool interaction. I mean, yeah, I think like hype wise, it was like, okay, this is really interesting. Production wise, I think it was fantastic. The giant egg, projectors running, the graphics package they had on the live stream, the music was sick. I think when Giratina showed up as the raid boss, there was some like weird, like otherworldly, like lo-fi electronic music that was like, I was like, all right, I'm vibing now. This is dope. It's like, 8 o'clock here, 10 o'clock in Chicago or whatever, and I'm like, I'm vibing. This is dope. What else? Yeah, I think that's GoFest. Solid experience, solid performance. I think Niantic did a really solid event. We have another year before next GoFest for more Pokemon to be introduced into the game. New hats, new themes, new features, depending on what they do. Who knows? More community to get together. Another 12 months for us to really... Jiggly Dad, you had to get here right as I'm ending it. I was only expecting to be here for an hour, and it's been an hour and 40. So, yeah, I mean, we have... this will probably just go up as... I might just put this on the podcast stream as me talking about GoFest, because I don't think our Battle Science After Dark is really going to dive too deep into this. And the next Battle Science podcast is going to be a week and a half from now. Yeah, everyone's exhausted. It's a wonder I'm talking for an hour and 40 minutes by myself here. I have the content to talk about, though. So, solid GoFest. Hats off to Meloetta. Hats off to Niantic for putting on a solid event. Again, I didn't hear any complaints from APAC that the servers were absolutely destroying themselves. But that doesn't mean that they weren't absolutely destroying themselves. And there were a couple of moments where, like with all of the raids going on, that like there were little bits of lag, a little bit of oddities. But as a game that's being played by hundreds of thousands, if not millions of players, all in the same weekend, all accessing servers and playing together and pinging cell towers, and all of this crazy sci-fi junk that if you mentioned to anyone at all in like 1994 or 1995 when Pokemon first released, you would have blown their minds. I would say it was a pretty darn solid execution. Am I missing something? I almost feel like I'm missing something. Good spawns, good candy, good XP, good Stardust. sticking to the theme of music was solid. It was what was I thinking? It was finding a way to integrate, like, the music was a really cool thing, and I think being in COVID times, like, actually having, like, gatherings would not be super smart, but if they did a music theme kind of thing if they did some sort of music theme in the future, I think having, like, live music would be really cool. It would be kind of bizarre since everyone's, like, up and moving, but, like, if you could get a DJ or two, even if they're, you know, not like headliner DJs, but like people that can put together a playlist in real time, and play it over like a set of speakers over a general area or something to like get you more in the vibe. I guess that's me speaking to the fact of I didn't turn my music on to listen to the special music in game, so you know, yeah, that's my fault. But I'd love some like more, you know, funky vibes and stuff. Jiggly Dad, like the Chicago egg was like nothing special in the sense of like in-game mechanically, but I think the Chicago egg was a really cool like live demonstration of some of the tech they have in like a AR sense of connecting with their servers and the information they have and presenting that in the real world outside of the game client on a phone. I think that's cool. I would love to see an official Niantic like API thing. Having worked at an independent movie theater that was, yeah, so they showed which like before the raids were like all of the raids went off, it looked like they were showing who was holding the gym, which didn't seem to change over. It looked like Valor was burying the absolute living crap out of whatever Pokemon were in there. Good for Team Valor. I'm a Team Valor. Jiggly Dad, were you there? Speaking as someone that was watching the live stream, I don't have all of the information. From watching the live stream, it looked kind of, you were there? Okay. Tell me I'm wrong then. Give me them facts. I'll eat all of the crow. It's from the live stream, it looked pretty cool. I'd love to see more. I'd love to see an official Niantic like API where you can like associate a like string of LED lights via like a Arduino thing to a particular gym in a region. I worked at an independent movie theater that was a gym, and if we could host a Pokemon Go event or a Pokemon like themed party or something, and we could change the LED lights that are in our lobby depending on who holds the gym, that would be amazing. But the only way to really do that is manually or using some crazy spoofing stuff. So like spoofing-esque, like hack bot. Well, no, you could build a bot for it, probably not too crazy. Then you could integrate it with Discord, probably, and it could update via Discord notifications and build an API for it. It'd be unofficial. I would love to see a Niantic official. Was it visually impressive, Jiggly Dad, the egg? Because it seemed kind of cool from the live stream. From a production standpoint, I really liked the egg. From a experience standpoint, not being there, it was very anticlimactic. Several pop-up gyms surrounding another gym. The middle gym never changed from Valor. They were presenting some sort of alleged real-time info. It didn't seem to correlate to the main gym. And then in the end, they played the 3 logo videos and gave the impression the Mystic won, but they didn't explain it. Yeah, that seems Weird. Yeah, like, I mean, I guess, like, lack of communication is one of, like, the pseudo core pillars of Niantic, though, so yeah, that could always be better. I saw the Go Stadium message that, like, something was happening, and, like, a picture of the, like, little flyer that they handed out. Yeah, I could. There, I mean, you get enough people, and especially gamers in an area, like even a digital space together, and you're gonna set expectations. They're gonna set expectations that are too high anyway. No, like raid invites, like even the I don't know. I'm going way past what I wanted to go. The Sunday experience, as far as like inviting people, became a nightmare, especially in our local community, where a lot of the gyms can be accessed from a more central place in town. And we're trying to invite people from like Seattle, but the maximum 10 invitees got capped like immediately because people are remoting in from in town, and we had to private lobby to get people from out of town in with enough space. And it was really annoying. Everybody was in the egg area. The almighty egg. I liked that they made it a little ominous, though. They were hyping it up online. That was kind of funny. But yeah, there's always like that kind of thing is a cool idea, and I hope, along with just about everything else from this event, I think there's a lot of positives, but then there's a lot of stuff to take a lot of takeaways to improve stuff. So didn't they do absolutely crazy EX raid lobbies last year or the year before? Or not EX raid lobbies, but like 5-star raid lobbies? As I continue this, maybe we just go to 2 hours. I don't know. I mean, Jiggly Dad, as I've said, as I was saying before, because I tried to make it succinct. Who cares at this point? Let's just throw all that out the window. They were just doing Meowth raids. Oh, that's right. They were all doing Meowth raids, and they've just made it super condensed. I mean, the raids day 2 weren't all that impressive. They were just the things there's nothing new. There's just more opportunities for candy and a whole lot of XP and Stardust. If you wanted to go absolutely ham. But it was 6 hours, roughly 6 hours of what a raid evening would be. So, as somebody that doesn't raid a whole lot, I just wasn't super excited. Super excited, and didn't come out super pleased. So, that's true. I did get the Yveltal, whatever. I think it's Yveltal. I don't know why I'm trying to mispronounce it. I didn't get the Yveltal before. Anyone that like is super chill as far as legendary raids, like they're all there except for Deoxys, the mythics. The regional lake spirits, I didn't get any invites, but I also didn't try, so yeah, the rocket stuff was cool. I do remember that. I remember that specifically. There was one section of the quest on day 1 that wanted 2 rocket battles. And that was it. That's all that mattered. And that kind of sucks. I would have loved a little bit more interaction with Rocket. Not particularly on day 1, because day 1 was just go catch stuff. Just go catch as much stuff as you possibly can. Catch until your fingers are bleeding. Don't actually catch until your fingers bleeding. Oh yeah, I mean, I did too. I was like, oh no, I gotta stop. I gotta find rocket battles, and I gotta stop catching stuff because these spawns are great, and I have to battle stuff. So like, if they made it a mix, if they made Sunday a mix of raids and rocket battles, make it a little bit more like it's not just raid day, it's like competitive day or something, or training day. Like, I don't know, I'd probably have a overall better experience and better opinion of Sunday, but it's just me as somebody that doesn't like raids but likes PvP more. It's Washington. Yeah, it's training day. Oh, I was mentioning to a buddy of mine that we were hitting all of the gyms, and he pulled up the oh goodness, let me pull up the. I certainly can't play it on Twitch because they will not like it. But I think it was John Oliver and his jokes about getting buff, getting swole. The Temple of Swole. Jim Jokes compilations. Can I get the share link? Can I copy link address? Here we go. There you go. Take that. Go watch that. Because I can't play that on Twitch. I'm going to watch that later. But I was like, yeah, you know, just do a bunch of raids, get a bunch of XP, get swole, get to your higher levels. I hope people took advantage of the sheer amount of XP and Stardust that you can get in these last 2 days to bring themselves up to one, a more competitive level, and two, try and get up to level 40 at least, so that you can get XL candy, and then get beyond that, because the grind from 40 to 50 is, I mean, if you didn't already do a whole lot on XP, you've got a lot of work. Just like me, I've got a whole lot of work to go through. I passed the XP threshold for 42, but I have to complete the challenges. So, I'm looking at a lot more work to get myself to level 50. So, I think that's it. I think I've gone on long enough. I'm absolutely dead tired, and the dog needs a walk, and I need food. Suffice to say, solid Go Fest. I'm excited for next year. Don't forget, if you still have stuff you want extra candy for, transfer them on Tuesday during the Spotlight Hour. It's double transfer candy. Take advantage of it. Specifically, I would say Sawaddle and Shieldon are the two to focus on if you still have those and haven't already transferred those. Because Shieldon, you need that XL, and Sawaddle are technically rarer than Dino in general non-event wild spawns. So if you don't know about that, go listen to the podcast. A couple of months ago, I think it was titled Wanted Dead or Alive, or Swaddle Wanted Dead or Alive. In the main series games, there is a brains misfiring. There's precedence for Swaddle to be rarer than Dino, even though it's a bug grass and not at all as impressive type and performance wise. So, all right. Thank you to the handful of you that joined me live for this almost 2-hour long rant spew of thoughts and experiences from GoFest 2021. Glad I got to hang out with friends. Weather was pretty darn solid. I am a little burnt. Got some good catches, got some good XP, got some good Stardust. Enjoyed myself, which is the primary priority, double positives. Thank you to whoever might be listening to this after, because this is long enough to go in its own podcast format. So this might go up on, I'll double check in with Jesse, maybe put it up on the Battle Science podcast feed. So y'all can check it out. Y'all can listen. So thank you for joining me. Y'all have a good night. Get some rest. GoFest weekend is over. We can all take a deep breath before we have a couple of days until these ultra unlocks to dive into. And as our normal sign off is, we'll catch you out there on the battlefield.